Good afternoon. Welcome back to Near Post Flick on Game Week 2 of the Premier League. Just a quick preview for this weekend's round of games. So we're going to go straight into it. This evening's kickoff, 8 o'clock. It's between West Ham and Chelsea. Of course, West Ham lost their first game, disappointingly, and Chelsea were held to the goalless draw against Crystal Palace. So I'm sure both teams will be looking to make they'll be looking for the victory, let's be honest. I mean, Chelsea, I've predicted them to finish second, so they need to start picking up some points, and they will be looking to pick up some points against West Ham. And West Ham also would like to get some points on the board as well, because it's going to be a very long, hard season for both clubs, and I'm sure equally they would like to get some points, because West Ham do not want to find themselves, 10, 20, or 10, 15 games down the line with minimal points. You know what that means? It means relegation battles. So it's going to be a very tough game between the two clubs as they both search for their first victory. But I think Chelsea will win this game quite comfortably, I'll say. Maybe 2-1. I'll say maybe 2-1. Hopefully Cole Palmer turns up today and puts in a good performance. So I'll say Chelsea against West Ham will end with Chelsea winning 2-1. Going on to tomorrow's round of games on Saturday. This is probably the biggest game of this round, game week 2. Manchester City taking on the mighty Tottenham Hotspur. It's an early afternoon kickoff, 12:30. This is quite tough. Spurs have always had the upper hand against City in recent times, but City have been impressive in their last performance, and also they've made some great signings, and Haaland seems to be on form. So it's going to be a tough one to call, but and City being the home side as well, you would give them that advantage. So I'll probably say Tottenham will probably lose this one, and Manchester City will win this 2-0. I'd say I'd be quite surprised if Tottenham get a draw even, but I should say yes. I can only see City winning this, so I'm going to say Manchester City will win this 2-0, 2-0 to Manchester City. Going on to the next game, Bournemouth against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Um, Again, another tough game for both clubs. Another tough game for both clubs. But I'm guessing Bournemouth will win this one 3-1. 3-1 to Bournemouth against Wolves. Moving on to Brentford against Aston Villa. This is an easy one. Villa will win this 2-0. 2-0 to Aston Villa against Brentford. As I say, Brentford have lost, they've lost their manager, the coaching staff, and they've lost a number of key players as well. So they are definitely relegation bound. So Aston Villa will be winning that game for sure. For sure. But it's football. Anything can happen in football. But that's my prediction. So moving on to the next game. That's Burnley taking on Sunderland. This is an all-out championship clash. Both clubs, of course, being promoted to the Premier League this season. So this is a must-win for both clubs as well, because you've got to pick up points against your rivals. Burnley had a tough task against Spurs, but they did look good. They looked like they did a couple of good things in there. Quite impressed with the way they played in the first game. So this might be their first victory. Who knows? Sunderland picked up their 3 points, and they were very impressive. So it could be a tough encounter for both teams. So I'm probably going to say end in a draw. I'll say 1-1 between Burnley and Sunderland. Arsenal take on Leeds. Of course, Arsenal have just got Eze. It's not, he's going to be an Arsenal player. The clubs have agreed a fee, and the player, of course, has an affinity with Arsenal. So he's definitely Arsenal bound. Arsenal take on Leeds. I think Leeds will stay up this season. I've said that before. But I think it's a straight win for Arsenal in front of the Gooners, supporters and fans alike. So I'm saying Arsenal will win this game 3-0. 3-0 to Arsenal. If Leeds can get a draw at the Emirates, it's a massive, massive task. But if they can get a draw, even a win, they could cause an upset. But as I say, if Arsenal want to keep up the pace with Manchester City, Liverpool, and possibly Chelsea in the race for the title and the top 4, these are the games that they've got to win. So Arsenal will get that win, and that's the prediction. Moving on to the Sunday games, we've got Crystal Palace taking on Nottingham Forest. Um, it's a tough one. It's a tough one, this one. But I will say Palace will. No, no. I was going to say Palace will win this 1-0, but I've changed my mind. I think Nottingham Forest will win that game 1-0. Nottingham Forest seem just to be a little bit more organised and they seem to be doing good things and they've carried on that momentum from last season. So I'm saying Nottingham Forest will win that game 1-0 against Crystal Palace. Moving on to the next game, Everton take on Brighton. Of course, Everton having signed Grealish on a loan from Manchester City. I think it's essential that if they're going to do anything, he needs to be on the ball. He needs to hit the ground running, and he's got to, bring his A game. But Brighton, that's a tough ask again. So I'm going with the away side. I think Brighton will probably win that game 3-2. There's going to be a lot of goals in there. So I'm saying Brighton will beat Everton 3-2. Moving on to Fulham against Manchester United. Manchester United look like a team reborn. Yes, they lost against Arsenal, but let's not take anything away from the way the team performed. They performed really well. I mean, they're trying to cast away the shadows of last season's disappointment, and I think they've bought in the right places. And I tell you what, Mbeumo, Cunha, great combination, and it will work for Manchester United. So what better time for those players to step up to the plate than against Fulham? So I'm saying Manchester United will win that game. I'm going for a high-scoring game again. I'll say Man United will win that 4-1. 4-1 to Manchester United. You may be thinking, Anger, about what's he on about? No chance. Yes, I believe Manchester United are a transformed team, and they will win that game 4-1 against Fulham. Going on to Monday Night Football. Newcastle take on Liverpool, who are everybody's favourite, I think, to win the league this year, and they've purchased well again. Newcastle seem to have done very well because, let's be honest, without Isak, you kind of think, or you kind of feel that Newcastle will struggle, but they didn't struggle in their first game. They didn't struggle at all. They were right up there. They gave in a performance against Aston Villa. But Liverpool are a different kettle of fish entirely, aren't they? Liverpool are a stronger side and everybody's favourite to win the league. I just feel Liverpool will have too much for Newcastle on Monday night, and Liverpool will win that game for sure. 2-0. 2-0 Liverpool against Newcastle. 2-0. So yeah, that rounds it up for this game week 2. There's going to be a lot of goals, a lot of action, and I'm sure some controversies as well. So please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much. Enjoy the bank holiday.